Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Building a Nation with Team Canada, and today we have for you the Preseason Spectacular for the 2022 campaign. This is a big season for us, a big year for Team Canada. Of course, 2022 is a World Cup year. We have qualified, so this is one of the big events of this series. This is the thing that we've been building up to. One of the sort of three main goals we've had for this series, which is make the Olympics, make the 2022 World Cup, and then make the 2026 World Cup. So it's going to be some good times here. Going to be some exciting games that we're going to be playing. And, we're going to see how far Team Canada can go. But before we get to all that, we of course have to check in with our national feeder team, Vancouver Whitecaps. They had a pretty good season last year as well. They won the MLS Supporter Shield, didn't win MLS Cup, didn't win Champions League, but hey, we got at least some sort of a trophy last year, so that's pretty good. All right, so we got a lot of stuff to cover this video, so let's get right to it. Go to the checklist. We, of course, start with the academy, where we did indeed have an intake this year, and a pretty large and significant intake. A lot of players. I want to say that just about everybody age 16 and under is a new guy. Let me take a look at this guy here. We have a clone. We're not satisfied with just bringing in new players. We've got to start cloning players. So we've cloned Jonas Hakkinen, and here he is, at 16 years old, I guess. Maybe the clone isn't quite as good as the original. He's only got 3-star potential abilities, but that's not what I'm really concerned about. I want to make sure that this guy is indeed. Yeah, so this is his first season here. So he's a 16-year-old, and he doesn't have one of these ratings here. So from last year. So I assume that he's a new guy, a new regen, if you will. Not exactly the best of the bunch, but it is interesting that he's got the exact same name as one of our guys. Anyway, we're going to focus on the top players in this class, and the top player in the class is James Sagen, striker. We have been putting out so many strikers, it's pretty crazy. 2 stars in ability, 4.5-star, potentially 5-star in potential ability. James Sagen, take a look at him. 5'10", 136 pounds, only 15 years old. Interesting. He can kind of play midfield as well. Actually, we might move this guy down to midfield because we have so many strikers. He's got very good pace and acceleration, some flair, some off the ball. His technicals aren't bad for a 15-year-old. He's kind of got pretty average stats up and down the board. His corners and crossing aren't good. Long throws and tackling are not good. So maybe he's not going to be a winger or a defensive player of any sort, defensive winger even. He's probably more like some sort of playmaking midfielder. I mean, he could possibly be a striker. He's got the speed and acceleration to be a striker. He does only have 10 finishing, 9 composure, but he's 15 years old. He could get better. The best part about this kid is his potential. So we need to get him in some of the early training groups and get him training with the first team quickly. We're not going to sign him to a first team contract, but we want to get him training with the first team as soon as possible. And then second in this list is another striker, good old Bob Thompson. All Canadian name right there, Bob Thompson, 15 years old. Another striker. He can kind of play left wing or right wing, so I'm sure we can train him up if necessary. Not quite as speedy as Sagen, but he's decent, decent physicals. He's 6 foot, 145 pounds, so he's a little bit of a bigger player. Pretty good mentals. Leadership is nice off the ball. Determination is always good. Composure, aggression. So he's got some good mental attributes. He's got some bad mental attributes as well, though. Position, teamwork, vision. So he's not a playmaker. He's not like Sajin, where he could maybe be trained as a playmaker. I think this guy is a pure winger or striker, most likely a striker. 10 technique and passing is decent. Lots of 10s for his technicals. 13 finishing and 12 composure is a very good combination. So Bob Thompson will probably be a striker going forward. He's a fairly ambitious young man, so we'll see what he can do. 4-star potential, maybe 5-star, but still pretty good. Next we got Unal Baysal, left midfielder, another Turk. We get a lot of Turkish players come through here for whatever reason. I don't know what sort of link we have to Turkey here in Vancouver, but just I don't know what happens. So he's a left midfielder, very good physical, 6'3", 158 pounds. So he's a pretty big kid. Again, 15 years old. The important thing is, does he have actual Canadian heritage of any sort? He does not. So he's another one of these kids that we could sell off to some European side, or maybe back home to Turkey. Probably not his home, maybe his parents' home. I don't know. Well, you'd think if he was born in Canada, he would have some form of Canadian citizenship currently, but he doesn't. So it means he was probably born in Turkey and his parents came here on a green card or whatever. Anyway, he's an asset. Let's put it that way. Maybe not a prospect, but he's an asset. Then we have another Colin, another of the Colin brothers continuing. This time Dylan with a Y, Colin with a Y. Why? I don't know. He's decent central defender, could play left or right. So if we can work that versatility in, he could be a very helpful player for us. He is only 5'11", 10 jumping reach. Maybe he could grow. He could hit a growth spurt, get up to 6 foot or 6'1", something like that. 13 determination, 16 aggression. He's already got 11 tackling and 11 heading. So, he's on his way to being a pretty solid defender. He does only have 1.5 stars currently in ability, so he needs to improve and improve quickly to, to fight his way up into the roster at some point. Who else do we got here of interest? We have so many players that sometimes it's hard to look at these guys, with only 3-star potential, only 3.5-star potential, and get terribly excited about these guys. We do have another midfielder here, Ivan Jelavic, who is injured currently, but he's a central midfielder, could maybe be attacking, maybe be out on the wing. 5'7", 121 pounds. Very good teamwork. Outstanding teamwork at 17, and work rate as well. Good determination. So he's a kid who could definitely improve. He could definitely, help us out in some capacity in the midfield. He could be one of those playmakers that we're always looking for. But he's got a long, long way to go. So we got 3 or 4 very good prospects, and then several other, mediocre type prospects. So we'll see. As you can see, our goalkeepers are still currently, our 2 young goalkeepers from the last recruiting class are still down here. However, we have put a bid in for Adam Melvin, so he's going to be signed up to the senior team very quickly, very shortly. We'll talk about that in a minute. Let's move on to finances. Still looking good. $33 million in the bank. League specific, we got $1.24 million in salary cap remaining. The league salary cap has gone up to $5.481 million. So we've got plenty of salary cap room, no problems there. Got a $4.4 million in transfer funds, so if we ever have the desire to make a transfer, there we go. $28 million in general allocation money at the beginning of the year. We've managed to spend 1.8 of it, so we've got $27 million. Targeted allocation money has also gone up, $1.6 million, so we're just busting at the seams with funny money over here. We could do basically whatever we wanted. Board, very secure, of course, no questions about it. 71% to start a season off is pretty good. I mean, it doesn't get a heck of a lot better than that. We'll see at the end of this year, the board might have some confidence issues because, their expectations might be a little high. But for now, we're very good. Club-wise, looking pretty good. Still superb training facilities. When does our new training facilities pop up? So this June 11th, we're going to get improved training facilities yet again. That's pretty much all we can do these days is just improve our training facilities. The board doesn't really want to do anything else. Finances are, of course, secure. 3-star reputation as per usual. Great youth facilities. So not much has changed in terms of club. Let's get to transfers. Transfers is always a big deal. So there's Melvin, going to be signed up from the academy. Zoltan Veda, his transfer will go through this July, but currently he's out of contract. I mean, I didn't see a point in signing him to a new contract. So from what I've found out, or my experience with this sort of situation has been, that a youngster who's already got a transfer arranged somewhere else will just sit on your roster until the end of time or until his deal comes up. So we don't need to sign him. We don't need to register him. We don't need to do anything. He'll just sit there on our roster until he joins Puskás Academy. So that's fine. And we can look at transfer history here. You see we signed up several players from our academy, Whitecaps Academy right here. We signed up Tyler Thompson, another striker, already up to 2.5 stars. He's got 4-star potential. Physicals are looking really good. Mentals are okay. Technicals are lagging behind. But this kid, he's got a lot of potential and he's starting to improve. So that's what we're really looking for. Rogelio Cantu, however you want to pronounce it. Signed him up. I'm not so sure about this signing, but he was exiting the academy, so I figured I'd give him a shot, give him a look. He might not make it through this training camp, but he is 6'4" left defender, 13 jumping reach. He's only 17 years old. I don't know. Technicals are not great. He does have 11 tackling, but we got so many fullbacks that I don't know that he can cut the mustard. Next up, Dylan Severis, right winger, 2-star ability, 4-star potential, excellent acceleration, 5'3", 119 pounds, so another little guy. He's got excellent teamwork, very good crossing, a real project, this kid. So not a lot of hope for this year, but he has made a few appearances in some under 20 teams, so we'll see what he does. Terry Rosenland, central midfielder. He could maybe play defensive mid, maybe play attacking. Got some versatility to him. Good mentals, 15 teamwork, 12 vision, 13 first touch, 13 free kick taking, 13 technique. He could improve his passing. Would be very nice. But again, another project. Julio Cesar Serrano, another midfielder, 17 years old. Pretty good physical, 6 foot tall. Free kick taking of 16, so he could maybe score a little bit there. He's only got 3-star potential, but again, another guy we just signed up. Take a look at him, see if he can improve. And then Daniel Valente, probably our best prospect who was still in the academy last year. Another striker, of course. He could maybe play advanced playmaker for us, so that would be good. But, decent physicals, a lot of green there, a lot of especially agility and balance. Good determination, we're always looking for that. Very balanced mentals, nothing really sticks out other than determination. But technically, he's got some very interesting technical skills. First touch, free kick taking, heading, long shooting. Very interested in his long shooting ability, even though he only has 10 finishing. That's what makes me think that he could be more of an attacking midfielder rather than a striker. So we'll see what he's got, but he's definitely sort of the best prospect to come up this year. Then we made a free transfer. Zachary Broguillard on a free. He was just sitting out there on a free. Nobody wanted this guy. He was, playing in the French league, or at least he was owned by a team in the French league. And when his contract came up, they didn't sign him. Nobody signed him, so we signed him. Another right back. Not that we necessarily need them, but we're not flush with right backs. We have more left backs, I think, than right. But anyway, he's a young Canadian player who needs more playing time, so we can give that to him. And this is basically why Vancouver exists, is to take players like this and get them fit for national team games. And then Jonathan Jackson-Hamel. Very interesting young man. 3 stars, 3.5 star, maybe all the way up to 4.5 star potential. Defensive midfielder. He's Scottish by nature, but he also has some Canadian heritage. So we might be able to flip this kid from the Scottish national team to the Canadian national team. He's capped at the under-19 level, but if we play him on the senior team, I think we might be able to grab him. So we're going to get him some playing time, see what he can do. We got him for $2.1 thousand. So it's not like he's a terrific prospect. He's not like a world-beating prospect, but he's very solid. He's got a driven personality, 19 determination, 16 vision, 15 tackling. So he's got some very interesting abilities. And I like that. So, players going out. Carlo Rosenlund, one of our former academy players. He's now playing at Sacramento. Again, another left back who just didn't cut the mustard. Mike Trafford, one of our last ever super draft picks. He's out of here. He never really played for us. Just sort of an okay dude. Nice tackling, 15 tackling. He's got some abilities, but he had no potential. So we just had to get rid of him. Lorenzo Campolo, right winger. I don't know. This guy never improved while he was here. He came in at 2 stars. He left at 2 stars. Potential wasn't that great. Just got rid of him. He's now playing for Seattle. Michael Baldissimo. Traded him away for $23,000. We just had a lot of young midfielders come in, and he wasn't really going to improve. He just, he just didn't have the potential. So it would have been nice to keep him around, but we didn't need him, so we got to move him on. Kunla Dadaluk, another guy who's just sort of mediocre in terms of potential ability. Right winger, we got too many right wingers who are showing much more potential than this guy, so we're moved him on. He's out on loan currently. And Pat Kendall on loan to TFC 2. He's a guy who has improved, but he hasn't improved enough in the right places. So, haven't gotten rid of him yet, but he is out on loan. He's a left back by nature. He can play right back. I don't know. I just got a feeling about this kid that he's not quite what we want. But he does have good physicals for the most part. He does have some interesting mental abilities. Technically, he's so far behind technically. It's hard for this guy to do much of anything with only 7 marking, 5 heading, 7 crossing. He's just not MLS caliber at this point. 21 years old. He might not have enough time or opportunity to reach his potential. Okay, let's get to the schedule. Just a little preseason schedule going on here. We played Colorado Springs, we played LA Galaxy, Orange County, played Fresno, and up next, we're going to be playing Southampton. How about that? That's a pretty exciting home preseason game. A friendly, if you will, 10th in the English Premier League. 3.5 star regional reputation, okay finances. Actually, their finances are not that okay. I mean, they got a great value. $749 million is their estimated value, but their current bank balance is in the negative. Negative $8.1 million. Profit margin is negative $10.92 million. So, that could be just all preseason spending, and they'll make that money back most likely. But right now, they could use the money from this friendly, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, anything else going on? I mean, do we even bother looking at their team? Their starting lineup is worth more than our franchise combined. Any one of their starting players would be the best player on our team. So they got that going for them, I guess. But, we're going to play them anyway and see how we do. Let's see, any interesting games that we played here? Against Fresno, 2-0, couple of goals. Haywood scored again. Faria, 2 young guys that we're going to be taking a serious look at this year. We can take a look at their goals. Faria has been showing a lot of improvement. He's already up to 3 stars. Another guy we rescued from TFC2. And then, of course, Haywood here, just heading one in, then getting it back, and just firing it in. Haywood has been an interesting character for a couple of seasons for us. He's just never gotten a lot of opportunity. There's Jackson Amell in the game. Gets it out to Bro Guillard. Faria, and Faria again scores. Not the greatest goalkeeping in the world, but Faria is just one of those wingers who can do a lot of different things. And I don't think we're going to be taking a look at him this game, so we can take a look at him right now. But as you can see, he's already up to 3 stars, 3.5 star potential. It would be nice if he could reach some of those gray stars in potential. But right now he's decent, technically decent, physically. He could improve mentally. But he sort of has it where we need it right now in terms of crossing, dribbling, passing, and then speed and acceleration and agility. So yeah, those are some of the youngsters we're going to be looking at. Let's see, then we have our competitions to go through. Major League Soccer, they want us to reach the first round of the playoffs. Supporters Shield, they want us to finish top half. So that's very doable. That's very reasonable expectations. North American Champions League, they want us to reach the quarterfinals. And then Canadian Championship, reach the finals. So we actually have some pretty decent expectations this year. So I'm actually happy about that. Then here we go, Team Canada competitions. North American Nations League. The board is still unhappy about the Nations League. 34% confidence. So, we're going to have to perform well in the World Cup. We currently don't have our expectations yet. So, I don't quite know what they want from us. I want to get out, minimum, I want to get out of the group stage. I don't think Team Canada has won a game in the World Cup ever. I'm going to have to double check that, but I don't think they have. So that's what sort of our first mini goal is, let's win a game in the World Cup, and second mini goal is let's make it out of the group stage. That would show some significant improvement for this club going forward. And then the saving grace right now is the World Cup qualifying, of course, board 57%, so that sort of balances out our Nations League. And we won the Gold Cup last year, but of course, they don't care about the Gold Cup, apparently. So that's detrimental to our cause. All right. So let's get to the match, I guess. We've looked at the squads, we looked at everything. We'll look at MLS in depth in another episode. So right now, a lot of friendlies going on. This is a friendly type of year. Get to the match preview. Since we're looking at a Premier League team, we could possibly take a look at said Premier Division. And, well, lo and behold, who would have guessed it? Man City, Man United, Tottenham, Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal at the top in 2022. What a shock. What a surprise. Wolves are up there, though. That's nice to see. I've always had a soft spot in my heart for Wolves. Down at the bottom, Swansea, Crystal Palace, and Stoke. I know there's some Stoke fans out there who would probably be disappointed in that. See them sitting on 19 points after 26 games with a minus 29 goal differential. Who they got? Who they got? Wow. Not an impressive roster. I'll be super honest with you. I don't know any of these names. But just looking at the dollar values are down a bit. We don't scout the English Premier League, so we don't really know much about these guys. But they're obviously not good if they're that far down. What's Man City look like on the other end of the spectrum? Ooh, they got some suspensions. That's no good. I do know a few of these names. De Bruyne is one for sure. Sané, sure. I know some of these guys. Values in the hundreds of millions. So that's good. Yeah, so De Bruyne is their most valuable player. 139 million. Worth more than our entire franchise combined, I think. Oh, no, look at that. Our estimated value, 162 million. How about it? We'll trade you Vancouver Whitecaps for De Bruyne. See if you can make that deal. Anyway, get to our team selection. We're not going to be afraid of these guys. We're going to go Z formation here. Going to go with our possession style to start things out. And, you know, we got a bit of a different, interesting lineup in there. And one of the reasons why we've been trying to sign our young goalkeeper is because we missed some trades here. What's going on? Let's go down to transfers. Transfer history, all transfers, all trades. We didn't go over trade. Look at all these trades. So most of these trades are draft picks for allocation money. Draft picks for allocation money. Lots and lots of draft picks for allocation money. The draft picks aren't valued very highly right now because the draft is sort of bugged. And they're only having like 85 players in each draft, which is not enough players. You need over 200 players in order to hold a full 4-round draft. So I don't know what's going on here, but it's not good. But one of the major trades that we made, it's not on here either. What is happening to my life? Anyway, one of our big trades that is here is we did pick up Schmidt Schoem from Montreal. So he's going to be in our lineup, attacking center mid. Seen him before in some of our under-23 videos, and you know, I think he's still got some room to improve. So I think that was a good pickup. We traded our first-round pick in the Super Draft and $150K for him and a second-round pick. That's fine. That's just more money in our pockets. Did that trade maybe take place in 2021? What's going on? Anyway, the point is, we got rid of Zach McMath in the offseason. He didn't want to join Team Canada. He wasn't going to take Canadian citizenship. Didn't want to do it. Said absolutely not. So, that's the reason we were sticking with him. Honestly, it's not that he's a bad goalkeeper, but if he's not going to, you know, help out Team Canada, then he's of no use to us. Now, unfortunately, Luke McGee just got injured. He's injured for possibly 3 weeks. So that leaves us with only the youngster Sean Montgomery in at goalkeeper, the 18-year-old. So we're going to sign up a 16-year-old to come and back him up. How's that for confidence in youth? Take that. So we're going to submit that team and get moving. So yeah, we got goalkeeper problems, which probably is not going to be good going into Southampton. So there he is, the youngster Montgomery, taking the #1 jersey. 14 reflexes, 14 aerial reach, 6'1". You know, he's improving a little bit. We need him to improve a lot more. He's going to get 3 weeks of hard duty, so it's it's going to be sort of a test run to see how good this kid can be and if he can improve with playing time. We'll see. In front of him, it's going to be very important for this defense to be strong. So we got Zlatkovic, Rocco, Jaguar, and Bro Guillard at the fullback position. Then Tibert and Hayward in the midfield. Brim, Schmidt Shom, Venuto on the right, and Hendricks up top. It's another trade that wasn't on that list for whatever reason. We traded Sean Hundle to Toronto FC to make room for some of, all of those young strikers that we've got coming up. So Hundle's going to be the starter up there in Toronto FC. And he's sort of reached his potential. He's gone up to 3.5 star, 4 stars, depending on which scout you talk to. He's one of the better strikers in Canada. And so, I decided to move him on because he's going to start wherever he goes. So if I move him on to Toronto, he's going to be playing, helping another Canadian team, and we can move our youngsters up in the lineup. So not a great deal for Vancouver, but a good deal for Team Canada, hopefully. Yeah, okay, so we're just on key highlights. We don't need to see every single highlight that's going on here. So it's going to be a very interesting season. We're constantly turning over the roster here in Vancouver, so it's going to be difficult, I think, to have continued success year after year, but it's not impossible. I mean, we showed it last year. Last year's roster wasn't the greatest roster in the world, and we still managed to win the Supporters' Shield. So it's the one thing I thought we couldn't do, that we did it. There's Guillard with the throw-in, Schmidt Shom. Why is he throwing? Okay, he's on the right-hand side, yeah. All right, I was a little confused. We are in the whites, by the way, in case you didn't know. Southampton in the yellow and blue. Looks like they're all wearing long pants. What's up with that? There's an easy goal by Danny Ferry. That's probably not Danny Ferry, but it's the only... Will Ferry. Okay, fine. Fine. I mean, this was a little too easy. Going over top of Bro Guillard, loses track of his man. And that is Guillard's drawback, is he's more of an offensive player than a defensive player. So we're going to have some issues there. I mean, he's not going to be our starter. He's not going to take over that position. But we do need to get him playing time because he might be the best right back in Canada currently. Well, no, I take that back. He's a reserve right back because Tamori is going to be taking over the right back position. But anyway, we need more right backs is the moral of the story. Now, Nerwinski is going to get his Canadian citizenship very soon. I think in 2 months, maybe. He'll be eligible to get his Canadian citizenship, so we'll see. Venuto! Oh, Venuto almost scored there. That would have been nice to even it up before the half. Might still have a chance here with a corner play. T-Bert's going to take it. Send it in. Jaguar. Oh, Schmidt Shom. Look who it is. The new acquisition. I like this guy's mental makeup. He's got that... Jaguar feel to him, where Jaguar doesn't look like the greatest player on paper, but he's got some pretty good mental attributes. And, we definitely need some of that on this team. We've got a lot of physical presence. We could definitely use some guys with some strong mentality. Here's Southampton now trying to recover their lead. Mendez to Ings. Shoots it wide. Please do that more often. The last thing we need is for them to start peppering our young goalkeeper. He's got a long way to go. There's no way he's a starting caliber goalkeeper right now. And I definitely didn't plan on him being our starting goalkeeper. But, this is why he's on the team. If you can't play, get off the team. So we're going to test him out. Give him a real thorough test here in the preseason. And in Champions League, he's going to be our Champions League goalkeeper, so that's going to be interesting. It's not going to be too bad at the beginning of the season because we don't play great teams at the beginning of Champions League. But after this first round, things could get dicey because we could get another MLS team right away like we did last year. Especially if it's somebody like LAFC, it's going to be very difficult. All right, boys. Second half 1-1. I mean, this isn't bad. I'll take this. Throw in by Southampton in their own end. See what they're going to do with it. See if they're going to try to bomb it forward. Ferry has it, the goal scorer. Ings. Mendes running free. There we go. Rocco with the big boot. Nobody home, though. And looks like we might have a mega highlight on our hands. Dorian Gray moves it. Oh boy, what is that name? What is that name? Hojberg? Get out of here. We'll go with Ings. How about that? Stop passing him the ball. Hojo. Howard Johnson. Ooh. Okay. I don't really know what to say. Preseason game, playing okay. We got a lot of yellow cards. I know. How about this? How about we see what our wonderful assistants have to say? Rocco's been booked. Okay. Encourage our players to try a short passing play. I mean, I don't have any ideas, so sure. We'll take your advice. Look at the field. I mean, it's not like possession has been a real problem. 47%. It's not bad. Shots are pretty even. We got more shots on target. Both have only one clear-cut chance and one goal. 6 fouls to 9. I mean, we could get some of those yellow cards out of there, but I don't think it's that important. Mendes fires one into the wall. All right, boys, spread out. Hendricks picks it up. Hendricks, our young striker. 65 minutes. He might be more comfortable out on the wing. That was a bad pass, though. But Zlatkovic, who's now the oh boy, that was close to a red card. Zlatkovic is now the wily veteran at like 18 or 19, whatever he is. He's been a starter for like 3 years. Rocco's just going to bomb it. Trying to get it to Venuto. He wins the header. Hendricks can't get it. Shamit Shom, can he get his second? Left footer. Off the post. Brim. Look at that. Johnny on the spot. That was some lazy goalkeeping right there. He sort of didn't really pay attention to the ball. Was lucky that it bounced off the post the first time. And then just sort of lazily went after the rebound. Look at him. He just sort of missed. I guess he mistimed where it was going to be, but still not a great effort. And we're up 2-1. This is amazing. Zlatkovic with a throw-in. Brim, 67 minutes. Haywood, is the youngster going to take a big shot? Nope, drops it to Venuto. Gets it stolen. Oh, penalty! We'll let Zlatkovic take the penalty. Come on, young man. The wily fullback playing his mental games here with the goalkeeper. Is he going left? Is he going right? He usually goes left, and no, he goes down the middle. 3-1 Vancouver over Southampton. Get out of here, all you $100 million men. Well, more like $30 million men. Still, get out. This is Vancouver, buddy. Didn't know you were walking into a hornet's nest. Get that. Shamit Shom, 7.8 rating and a goal and an assist. Brim, 7.4 with a goal. 73 minutes. Montgomery with a free kick, or a goal kick, I should say. No, that was a free kick. I don't know what I'm talking about. Haywood down to Venuto. Venuto trying to slice through the defense, and so far he does. Good stop by Gunn. But we're putting the pressure on Southampton. I don't think they expected this at all. Not a big crowd here today at the Dome. I don't think I've seen a single spectator currently. Back out wide to T-Bert after the corner. He sends it in. A terrible pass for Venuto. Are there any substitutions that we want to make here? You know, we could bring in... I was going to bring in Norman for T-Bert, get the yellow card out of there. But I might actually bring in Norman for Haywood. Sure, why not? And then Venuto's not playing particularly well right now, so we could take a look at Faria. Get the exciting young player in there, and I think that's it. 79 minutes and rolling. It's exactly what we want. Just keep the clock rolling. Look at that, 52% possession, 15 shots, 8 on target. That's really good. If we could get our on-target percentage up this year, that would be a huge chance. A huge improvement over last year. 78% passes completed. You know, we're beating them on just about every level here. 91 minutes down. There's Faria. Gets his first touch, his first highlight. Bombs it forward. Ooh. Westergaard. T-Bert Johnny on the spot. He's got Brim. Gets it forward. Again, not enthusiastic goalkeeping by Dunn. Slatkovic wins the header. 93 minutes, 1 minute of stoppage time. We're going to beat Southampton in a friendly. Take that Premier League in front of just friends and family, I guess. Not a lot of enthusiasm for the Premier League team coming over here. That's a bit surprising. It's a bit surprising. I thought maybe there would be more interest in that sort of friendly, but I guess not. Vancouver fans are very unimpressed, apparently. 15 seconds to go. Oh, there's a little sneaky back pass. Bertrand. Johnson. Look at the youngster with a big save. Montgomery. They only got one goal past the 18-year-old, so that's pretty good. Pretty happy with that. Angus Gunn, 26 years old. Salary $3.5 million. He's only valued at $3.9 million, but still, I mean, look at this guy. He would still be one of the most talented keepers in MLS if this guy came over to MLS. Carl Stromberg, valued at $3.1 million. These are the guys who subbed in. So the guys at the beginning of the game, Alex McCarthy. Yeah, you know, these guys, their value isn't that high. There's a $25 million man. Jack Stevens. Looks pretty good. Central defender. Yeah, so, I don't know. I guess that means we could finish 9th in the Premier League. You know, preseason games are exactly the way that the regular season is going to end up, as we all know. So, I'm very pleased. Yeah, I'm just pleased. I'm not going to say anything special about it. Just, yeah, good job. We expected it. It's a friendly. We expected to beat them. So there we go. Vancouver takes the spoils in a ding-dong battle. If you say so. Sarah Christopher, press officer. Okay, so I guess I shouldn't make fun of her because she's our own press secretary here, so we'll give her a pass on that one. So yeah, up next we got Champions League. Club Atletico should beat them pretty handily. So that will be our next game, just to sort of kick off the season with Champions League, and then after that we'll have the MLS Spectacular to kick off the MLS season. That's pretty much it. We're going to have Team Canada at some point. I don't think the schedule has really been written in stone yet for this year. There is one thing we got to see if this would ever stop running. Come on, game. There we go. All right, so there is one thing we got to see. Competitions, World Cup. We have our groups. Groups have been arranged. And so they held the draw I want to say January, somewhere around there. Maybe it was December. But it was, I wasn't going to make a video just for the draw, but the draw was interesting. We were a 4th tier team. So we were one of the lowest rated teams in the entire competition. So it was a very interesting draw to see all the other teams go ahead of us. Mexico got a very, very friendly draw. They were a 2nd tier team, and they got put in there with the number 1 seed, which is the home team, Qatar. So Mexico has Qatar, the Czech Republic, and Burkina Faso, which I'm going to be honest, never heard of this team. Have never heard of this nation before. It's an African Cup nation. Forgive me. I'm sorry, but there's very few nations in the world that I've not heard of, and this is one of them. So I got to assume their soccer program is not terrific. So I think Mexico got a great deal. We, on the other end of the spectrum, I believe are in the group of death. We have with us Argentina. Of course, Messi's not on the team, but they're still very good. They're still 5th ranked in the world and a World Cup contender, no question about it. And then we have England. Of course, England is going to be there. England was a 2nd tier team, which was unfortunate for us, but they're 9th in the world. So we have 2 top 10 teams in our group. Not happy about that. And then finally South Korea, which is no slouch either, and will probably be looking for revenge against us for beating them for the bronze medal in the Olympics. So it's a very, very tough draw for us. I still want to get out of this group. I currently don't know how it's going to happen. I think we have to beat South Korea, and then who knows? And then come out with a draw against England or Argentina, or something has to happen. But we'll talk about that in future episodes. So until then, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.